Welcome everyone to the Matchbook Horse Racing Podcast. We've got a good little weekend to preview. It's a quieter one because obviously you've got classics on the agenda next week going into the Oaks and the Derby. We'll obviously have a podcast for that next week, so keep an eye out for that. Naturally going to be aiming for Thursday. And then we quieten down a bit, and then we got Ascot as well. But there's loads of flat racing coming up for you to get dates in your diaries for as far as previews goes. This is across 3 tracks today: Haydock, York, and Chester. We're previewing the ITV Racing, and we'll do it in ITV Racing running order as well, with the John O'Gaunt essentially the feature. Like, follow, and subscribe wherever you're listening. It's the best no-cost way of supporting all of our content. There's a bonus code to use if you want to get 50 quid in free bets. POD50. You should know about that by now, but if you don't, check it out. The T's and C's are all on the website. If you want £50 in free bets, use the bonus code POD50. I'm also going to remind you now, and we'll bring it up later, of the £5 money back as a free bet, best bet treble. So the 3 of us, Charlie Poste, Micheál Deasy, and me, Tom Stanley, will have a bet each for you at the end, and you can put it in a treble. It's for new and existing customers. If it doesn't cop, a £5 treble, you get your money back. Simple as that. It probably won't cop because, you know, it's 3 different bets and 3 horses, but it might, and it'll be a good payday if it does. Okay, let's get stuck into the preview then. So, like a few of the races, there's some pretty open handicaps. This is one of them, the 148 at Haydock Park, first live ITV race over 6 furlongs. Charlie Poste, welcome along and take it away with your selection here, please.
Thanks, Tom. Dakota Gold for me in this this sprint handicap. The yard form is a slight concern. Michael Dodd's gone certainly 3 weeks without a winner, but a few of them are running well. And at the prices, he's 13.0. This lad, I'm willing to chance it, win and place. You know, he was a real high quality sprinter in his day. He's very much 11 years old in the veteran stage, but you know, he made the most of a declining mark on his first start back at Ripon to beat Aberama Gold 3/4 of a length. The £3 rise he got for that win is definitely not excessive. And he'll actually, Haydock are giving it good to soft at the moment. And actually that ease in the ground will be in his favour. So I think with the ground drawn 5, which is absolutely fine. And like I said, he's nowhere near as good as he was, but there still should be some movement in this mark of 88. I'm going to back him, win and place, for all that I respect for Fine Interview, who, again, has seriously good slower ground form if it doesn't dry out too much.
Dees, who are you backing?
I am backing Fine Interview, and I was going to back Woven, another Michael Dodd's horse, but I just couldn't because of the stable farm. So I'm glad you have a bit of faith, Charlie, but it just put me off him. And I kept coming back to Fine Interview. I just remember the gamble on him at Doncaster there, the start of the season. Finished third, but there was huge amount of money on him. He was punted all the week for us. Went off 3.75 and was just beaten the neck by Dark 30. Just didn't quite get there. There's been plenty of other races since then. That was in the 30th of March. They've obviously saved him for something like this, and he seems to have conditions in his favour. I don't think it'll be soft. I checked the BHA website there this morning, and I look at the weather as well, and I think there's probably a few showers going to come, but nothing too heavy. I think it'll probably go off the good side of good to soft. I think that'll be fine for him. Not a big price, but he was just I just kept coming back to him in this. So yeah, I'll go Fine Interview, 5.0.
Fine Interview at 5.0. My shot is an 8.0 shot. That's Trilby. The angle here is I wasn't sure what to work on ground wise because I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's much rain around, but I think you're probably going to be looking at no quicker than good, maybe good to soft, and that's going to be good for Trilby, whose last win came on heavy here over 5. Basically, the course form is rock solid. So he's won here over 5, he's won here over 6, been placed here over 6 as well. Last time I thought he ran better than the bare result at York, definitely. When the ground might have been quick enough. Got bumped at the start, then ran on. That was over 5. 5 on the ground at York is always looking like it's going to be too sharp for him. And he wants pace to aim at. Now, you've got Fine Interview, Durham Castle. They won't be far away. Sergeant Wilco, Dakota Gold. Crucially, these are all fancy horses as well, so they should stay there for a while in the race. Grant Wood's gone forward before. Tinto's a front runner, isn't he? No, he's not. Cody Lawn's another one that can crack on with. Anyway, there's potentially a good bit of pace on. So it could set up really well for him. He's a bit of a hostage to fortune horse, but there's enough juice in the price to play win and place, I thought. And he's got options from 10, so 8.0. Trilby for me, but it's a bit of a tepid shout. It's not a really strong shout, but I'll have a go win and place. 210 at Chester next. So we're jumping around. We're just going in ITV running order. If you're following us from that on the post or whatever, put up the free to air TV races. That's probably the best way of doing it. 210 at Chester. Not for me, Charlie. I thought someone would exploit this angle. Why are you with Never So Brave?
Yeah, very boring. He's 4.0, but he's an unexposed horse who's also won round the track over around this trip. And he's having his first start for the Andrew Bolden Yard, who are in great form after leaving Sir Michael Stout. Now, Sir Michael Stout is an absolute genius, one of the training greats, and someone as a kid growing up through the sport I always looked up to. But we've already discussed on this podcast before, there has been an angle this time round for horses having their first start since leaving the yard who, had a fairly ordinary year in his last year of training. So that's all there is to this. And the draw is fine in 6.
And I think just the other thing on that is it's how Stout approached it. It's he'd be looking at horses to just really take his time with, and a yard like Balding's operate differently, and they've had great success with ex Michael Stout horses. So I'm just not surprised. You get a horse from there, and I don't think it's going to take much to get them ready to roll first up, or put a few pounds of improvement on them first up in the season, as opposed to sort of playing the longer waiting game. So I think it's definitely an angle worth exploring. Micheál Deasy, who are you with?
Can't believe I missed that. I can't believe I missed that. The trainer angle. Best of luck.
You were the one banging on about it. Mighty Thunder at Newmarket that day, and another one on that day one. Yeah,
I didn't go through everyone in this race now at all. The horse I just at a price, Yennefer jumped out to me. He's at 10.0. It was a bit bigger there yesterday, but he won a race with pretty much these exact same conditions at Chester last August. He won a 0 to 100. This is 0 to 105. He's out of stall 10. They're sticking a hood on him as well, which I think is a good thing. They might few seconds and few kind of near misses there last year, so maybe that'll bring out a little bit of improvement. He's had a run already. I just thought he was a big price for a horse that has good course and distance form and will like goodish growth.
All right, moving on to the 223 at Haydock. I'll come in here first. I don't mean to talk about other horses that I haven't backed, but I got close to Jasur, who won fresh last year. But that was over 6. I could definitely see it. He's had his win done. Yeah, I got close. But I thought that Chagrin was very interesting. Obviously, he's got a little bit to find, rated 101, but he is capable of that. I think he could have an even better year this year, having excelled for Mick Appleby last year. Mick was a bit quiet in April and early May when this horse was running. He ran first up in May, ran quite well, and then dropped back to the 5. Went to York on quick ground over 5 last time, and I thought he ran better than the Bear result as well. He was 4th, but he was second his side in the race won by American Affair. He's going to want a bit of pace to aim at here. I mean, that's obvious, it's over 5 furlongs, but how it's going to develop, he's going to probably be running on pretty late. He'll see it out well, and I thought it all happened a bit quickly for him at York last time. So 12.0 win and place. I was pretty happy with, to be honest. There's a few I fancy at prices today that I think can place, and you never quite know. So Chagrin for me at 12.0, who is a previous course and distance winner with a yard back firing again or going better. D, so come back to you.
Yeah, I'm going for a big price one. I found this race hard. There was nothing really jumped out at me, so except this one, I suppose. People went for Rage of Bambi. Eve Johnson Hart and something there. She finished off the season very well, winning a listed race at Newmarket, and she's a 5-year-old now, but she actually hasn't. She's fairly unexposed. This is only going to be her 15th run. I just think that, again, look, these conditions are ideal for her. She's 5 furlongs. She'll have a small bit of cut in the ground. That it won't inconvenience her. She's kind of drawn out wide, which I'm not delighted about. But I just think at the price, she's 13.0. If you go back to the last 2 years of this meeting, and I generally look at like the previous runs race, EU Johnson Horton has a decent price winner at this meeting every single year. I think she had one that was 20-1 or 18-1 last year. She's picked up a few good races here, and she's a very good target trainer. So that was just an angle I thought was worth exploiting. She has a few runners out today, but I thought Rage Bambi was interesting thrown in here. I think this is I wouldn't be surprised to see the money coming for her and go off a bit shorter. So I'd be happy enough to take 13.0 win place.
Charlie, another price for you.
Yeah, I think we've all looked at this and thought there's question marks to answer over at the top of the market. And yeah, interestingly, we've all come down with different ones at double figure prices. But yeah, Barrel Moral Lady for me. Ed Walker's in really good form. This filly had a good season last year in her first year of racing, ending it with a second in a listed race on slow ground behind Room Service, who actually runs later on the Haydock card. You know, she was then narrowly beaten at Chester from a wide draw in a handicap off 99. Now, you know, friend of the podcast, Steve Jones, would say ratings mean nothing. She does have a bit to find on the ratings, but I don't see why as a 4-year-old she can't continue a progressive curve. And some, like I say, some of these I think have very much questions to answer. There's a lot of pace in this race as well. So the fact that she maybe stays a little bit further than this and handles slower conditions should be in her favour. And yeah, 15.0, I just wanted to be with something at a bigger price.
Sorry to correct you, Charlie, but you are way off with that statement. Steve Jones is no friend of this podcast.
That was sarcasm from me.
Just to confirm, just to put that beyond doubt. Moving on to the
Steve.
to the 5 furlong hand. I like this. Sorry, Dees.
I said poor old Steve.
And I said nothing poor about Steve.
Yeah. We love Steve. Exactly, we love him. Right, 5 furlong handicap at York. Can I kick off again? Because I was peeved at Loom last time. I put Loom up as another bet on the card. I know you backed him as well, didn't you, Dees?
I followed you in, yeah. It was sick.
Now he probably wouldn't have beaten the man, I don't know, but I was really baffled by the hold up. Right, like he's a forward-going horse, who I thought was perfectly drawn. Anyway, the man went and dominated up front. Against the Wind was up there throughout as well, first and the third, and this horse came from way off it. I found it hard to feel that he was suited by the ride. Not that Billy Garrity did anything wrong. It was obviously what they wanted to do. It's just I York flying 5 furlongs, get on it, and Loom is capable. He's fast enough. So I don't know. Maybe they'll do the same here, but I just got to back him again. 7.0. He's going to be there or thereabouts. He's drawn in the same stall. I'm a firm believer that you are you're better value to be middle to far side on the straight course at York, and there are stats to back that up. Definitely, Race IQ data that Racing TV produce will tell you that you have length advantages by coming out lower draws or by racing that side. So he's well drawn. I wouldn't mind seeing him get a more of a prominent ride, but I have to back the horse again. Loom at 7.0. Charlie.
Completely agree with what you're saying at the draw. As he says, I go 1 drawn 11, but I just felt there was loads of speed. I mean, there's only 13 runners in this, so it's not a massive field, and there's loads of speed high as well. So I was happy to come down with Venture Capital at Wynnum Place at 11.0. You know, he showed the benefit of his reappearance at Pontefract when winning at Ripon last time. He won 3/4 of a length, but I thought he did it handy enough once he kind of got there, you know, off a prominent ride. Ryan Moore's booked this time, which is never a negative. And the £5 rise, I thought, is just about manageable. And like I said, with loads of speed around him, he'll be ridden positive, but he had a good toe into the race from that draw. And possibly, again, he can sort of continue the progress at 4 that he showed last time at Ripon.
D.
Yeah, again, this is a tough race. It's good racing on this weekend. I had to go for JM Jungle. He has finished second to American Affair twice this season. And like the first race at Musselburgh, he was only getting a pound off and finished within the length, and he finished actually further away the next time, getting 4 pounds off him. But I still think that like this is probably kind of I wouldn't say a drop in class now, but I think he's top rated here. I can actually see him being well able to carry the weight here. I think he's really good York horse. It's his third race of the season. He's going to be hard fit. No, he's drawn the wrong side apparently, according to Tom. But yeah, he's a sharp price. It was very close to back and Loom as well, but I think JM Jungle is probably just could be a better horse. I think he's fairly decent, and I like backing all our sprinters, so I'm just going to stick with him. JM Jungle 5.0.
Is obviously just on the draw thing. It's not like obviously you can win from anywhere.
Yeah,
I mean that one of the races at York over the sprint trip, the horse came out of 13, but then went round the field and raced over what would be perceived the right side or the better side and won. So obviously you can win from anywhere. I just think if you back enough horses on the straight course, you want to be angling more low than high, but obviously they can definitely win from anywhere. Right, the 258 for fillies. You're both with Shahar. I don't know who's more confident. Charlie, start off with you. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought was the obvious one. There's probably it's a 3-horse race. I narrowed it down to. A Strange, I felt seasonal reappearance again. Only the 3 starts. Will she need the run? As in she won a listed race at Doncaster on soft on her last start in November, but that was a question mark. And Beautiful Love for the Charlie Appleby Buick combination seems to save her best for quick ground and racing abroad, in all honesty, in America and Maidan. I think the last two wins were. So I thought Shahar was really, really obvious, lightly raced from typical sort from the Gosden yard, and took her form to new levels in Goodwood earlier in May, and saw it out really well. She carries her head a little bit high, but I've no reason to question her resolution. And looking at it, I thought she still seemed very sort of raw through that race, as if there was still plenty more to come. Thought this track might suit her a little bit better as well. So Shahar at 3.25. Yeah, I think one of my stronger selections. I think maybe even my best bet.
What do you want to add, DC?
Nothing really, I suppose. Look, when I was looking this during the week, she was third in the betting, and she's switched places with Beautiful Love now. She's gone into second favourite, so there's been plenty of money for her. I suppose another thing I thought was that if the ground is soft, like she's by Cracksman, and that Cracksman was really good in soft ground. I thought that might have been in her favour as well. You could see her even going shorter and possibly going off favourite if the money keeps coming from her. I thought she was really good the last day, but it was a good race.
Okay, and then another fillies race. Again, I'm sitting at the Bronte Cup. You're both with the same one again. So, DC, you can kick off this time. 4.5 Sweno, 3:15 at York.
Yeah, she ran the same race that Shahar did at Goodwood. And if you actually watch back the race, it could have been one of those typical Goodwood hard luck stories. Just in the wrong position. She was stuck in the rail, stuck in behind the horses, only really got going in the last furlong and was probably finishing the best of them all. Ran into fourth, I think, just in the shadow of the line. I just thought that she was into my tracker after that. I thought if she'd got a clear run, she would have been much closer. And if we think Shahar is as good as she is in the fillies race at Haydock, I think Sweno mightn't be too far off her. So yeah, I think she's a really good bet.
Charlie, what do you want to add?
Yeah, again, completely unexposed. As Dee says, didn't get a smooth passage last time. Extra 2 furlongs in trip should help. Again, more regulation track should help. And the addition of Ryan Moore on the fillies back. Yeah, I thought a lot of positives.
Dale says, happy birthday, Martin Pipe, for yesterday. Didn't know that. Changed the way all trainers train horses. Legend. Charlie will agree.
Yeah, completely agree. Yeah.
Ever heard Nick Luck's impression of Martin Pipe? It's very good. It's very he's very good. I would say top 3 Nick Luck impressions would be Martin Pipe 1, Mick Fitzgerald 2, John Gosden 3, John Frankham 4. But they are very strong. Very strong. Shame he's a shit presenter, but he's a good impressionist. You can't have it all.
I watched him on the Netflix documentary, you know, the one with the American racing. He's done a very good job of it.
Yeah, it's quite good, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I was going to wear my sunglasses there. I bought a new pair yesterday. I was going to put them on like that, such as Michael Iovine or something. I was like, what a space.
Yeah. All right. The feature, the John Gaunt Stakes. Who I'm most interested in Charlie's shout, so I'll come to you first, please.
Yeah, I mean, Kikuli for me, win and place 13.0. You know, the horse hasn't lived up to his illustrious pedigree as of yet, but there's been glimmers. You know, he was beat a short head by Hatem in the Jersey last year, and you know he ran well in the Hungerford behind Tiber Flow, and I just thought that the first start back this time around at Haydock behind Alianabi was promising, you know, as in he got stuck in the pocket on the fence, and Finley Marsh on board. I thought he might have got one smack from the whip, but like it was just a hands and heels race. He looked like he got caught flat-footed and then stayed on a bit. Now whether he's going to improve for the runners in that he had a little bit of blow and he's going to be sharper this time, but also I just cannot see this race being allowed to be dictated quite so comfortably by a front runner as what happened last time. He's got a bit to find, 110% he has, but he is still unexposed. The Charlton Yard's going along okay. And at the prices, I just thought he was interesting because I think there could be upside and still there could be better to come.
What am I missing with Audience here? Why is Audience just not a massive fav? What like? So
he runs a lot of shit.
Loves to go fresh. Go on.
He runs as many shit races as he runs good races. And if
I just haven't warmed to him. I don't know why.
If he was nailed on,
I think that's it.
He'd be 2.5. He'd be way shorter.
I think that's it, though. You don't. It's something about not warming to him. I think that's it. Now, he's a much more tractable horse since he was gelded. He loves to go fresh. He won fresh October 22, July 23, May 24 when he won a Group 1 over a mile. All right, you can question it, but he beat Charin. And then at York, I take it he was disappointed. He won his Group 2 with a penalty at Goodwood when they took the hood off. And then his last 2 races, well, they're kind of excusable because he's been in Group 1s over 6 furlongs. Group 1 over 6 furlongs is not him. So he likes to be fresh. He's back into a Group 3 without his Group 1 penalty. He's rated 122. I've got to back him, and I'll probably go quite firm after him as well because I don't want to be watching at the line. I remember at Goodwood when he won, and he was 5.0. And he won 4 lengths. And I was sat there going, how has that horse gone off a 5.0? He's a Group 1 winner that season, even though he had the penalty. So I've got to. I'm going to go pretty solid on Audience. Yeah. There we go, Charlie.
I'm done.
Oh, you've done DC. Sorry.
I'm going for Alianabi. Nothing. Again, he's top of the market. I had a good look through this as well. Now, I'd be interested in Quinault as well at the price he is. I think he's too big, but I just thought they might have found the trick to Alianabi. No, he won over course and distance a few weeks ago. That was on good to foreign ground, but like he made all beating a horse as good as Tiber Flow. They never got near him. I think he was going away at the line. I think they've tried him at a mile and a quarter, mile 1, 7 furlongs. He's won twice over 7 furlongs. I think sometimes 7 furlong horses are just kind of specialists. It's kind of an in-between distance, I suppose, for flat racers. Thought he was really good. Owen Burrows is I think one of my favourite trainers. I back a lot of his horses. Yeah, I thought he was a great bet at 4.5. He's really good.
All right, preview done. Any other bets, Charlie? First of all,
yeah, selfish one that like with Shine on Me, Lingfield 6:40 tomorrow evening. It's a horse we sold this year at Doncaster at the Breeze Ups. She was actually quickest horse in the sale. James Dawes going to Lingfield, his only ride down there. You know, with Leovana and the sprint handicapper at Haydock, there were solid options elsewhere. I'm taking it as a positive that he's going to ride her. She was a very quick horse with us, as her breeze suggested, and I know Archie Watson's been happy with her since. Fingers crossed she can get the job done and then rock on maybe to the Queen Mary or something. So Shine on Me, 6:40 Lingfield.
That is interesting.
That's how you paid for the round of golf at the Haydock sale, Charlie, was it?
I wouldn't waste my money, Dees, with my level of golfing ability. I did it once years ago, and it was a misty day, and it nearly cost me a mortgage and golf balls, never mind anything else. Yeah.
Good luck.
I'm going to back Nakib in the 113 at Haydock reasonably strongly as well. So first start for Julie Camacho last time. It's well worth watching the race back. He was keen early. He wasn't in ideal position. He made eye-catching ground down the right wide outside, and quite rightly, Joe Fanning properly looked after him. I was a bit pissed off at the time because I thought he could have got fourth, and I was playing to each way fours. Anyway, but he did absolutely the right thing. This horse is going to go in either tomorrow or the next time or the next time. It's one of those because he's probably a horse that takes a bit of finessing and a bit of handling, and they might want to take their time with him, but I don't want to miss the boat. He's 11.0. I think he's well enough treated to go very close here. He's got a boatload of ability, and I'm definitely going to be supporting him. It's a bit of a just in case because it's going to happen at some point. I'll be backing him basically on his next 2 or 3 starts. So Nakib in the 113 at Haydock. Matchbook Zero long shot. Reminder that the market goes live an hour before each race. Win only bets, but enhanced odds because there's zero margin, zero commission. Mine is Chagrin in the 223 at Haydock, 12.0. Charlie?
Yeah, Balmoral Lady, same race for me at Haydock.
DC?
Quinault in the Johnny Gaunt Stakes, the 333 at Haydock.
And best bet, treble, money back special. So different races. We've done that for you. Put a £5 treble on this for new and existing customers with Matchbook. And if it doesn't cop, then you get your money back. So no risk at all. Audience 5.0 for me and the Johnny Gaunt. Charlie?
Haydock 258 Shahar. I was going to be so disappointed if you didn't put audience up after that. So yeah, fair play.
Don't worry, he's going in. He's going in. I'm not saying he's going to win. He's going in the bet. DC.
Sueno at 4.5 in the 315 York.
Good stuff. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for joining us. DC, Charlie Post, thank you very much indeed. Look out for our preview next week, aiming for Thursday because it's Oaks and Derby weekend. So loads to look forward to there. But hopefully you make a bit of money this weekend supporting the selections that you can find at insights.matchbook.com with all the prices as we put them up there. Have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye.